guys, it's Dino coming at you here with another deck profile. This time we have first place out of a 20-man or 28-man locals. We have Krawlers, and with me as always is my boy JJ. How's it going?
Another day, man.
All right. So I hear we were playing Krawlers. Let's see what we got.
Right on. So it's Weevil Underwood 3.0 is what we call it. We have Krawler Gilly is what we're going to start with, or Glow, however you want to pronounce it. So it's a special summon from the hand or grave when flipped, and it doesn't target. So if your opponent wants to call to the grave, they have to act. They pretty much have to guess what you want to hit, which I think is really good in this format.
It's pretty solid.
3 Receptor. This is a Rhoda for Krawlers when it's flipped. Add any Krawler from grave or deck to hand. 3 Axon. He's the MST when flipped. 3 Spine is the new Man-Eater bug. Flip, destroy a monster.
Woof.
Drendite. He's a Foolish Burial when he's flipped, and he's the beat stick of games. 13, the biggest one of them all. And Ravener, I don't really like this one the best, but sometimes in the grindy games you need to, when he flips, you add 2 from grave to hand, or up to 2. So in the grindy games is needed. And then that's it for the Krawler count. And then I run 2 World Legacy World Armor. Whenever a flip monster is flipped, he's kind of like a Diablos for flip monsters. He resolves, it specials him, and then he searches any World Legacy card from the deck to the hand. So it can search like your successions or any of the traps that you run. For the one-ofs, or in a glow bulb. Because you can make beast in this deck, they're all earths. But mostly for this tournament, I used him as an extender to just go into Burrow Sword a lot more. And Burrow Sword did a lot more work than Beast would.
He's so good with links, but oh my goodness.
My other one was the Morphing Jar. When I was building it, I was thinking of a deck that would abuse this card, figured Krawlers, because I could flip them on my opponent's turn. And when you can set this and then set 4, and then just flip pawns on standby phase to flip this, your opponent has to discard 6 to draw 5, and then I just get to draw 5 and you draw into more hand traps and stuff, so it was really good.
So gross. So gross.
Hand traps, I just played 2 Ash. It was pretty tight, so I just sided these out if I needed to for other hand traps.
You best had that big old forehead.
Yeah. For the spell, I ran 3 of the Field Spell. This card's really good. It gives old Krawlers for attack and defense. You get an additional special summon of a level 2 or lower insect in face up or face down defense. And then if a flip monster is destroyed by battle by your opponent's monster, you can send it to the graveyard after battle calc or damage calc. So that's really good too. It gets rid of things. You can even just crash your monsters into them, and then they were destroyed, so you can send them. And it's non-targeting too.
That thing has hit me so many times in this tournament. Oh my goodness.
And 2 Terraforming to search it. Gotta. I would play the World Legacy Succession. So it's a monster reborn if you control, pretty much. And then the 1 monster reborn.
Oh, that pretty lost start. Everybody get your copies.
Yeah.
Oh wait, you can't because they were limited time only. Sucks to suck.
2 Wormbait. This card was actually really good. The links, only one requires Krawlers. The other 2 require, one requires Ends Earths. And this meets the requirements for both of those. So you can just OTK with these very easily.
Card is so good.
And that's it for the spells. And then for trap lineup, 3 Mind Meld. This is the new one that they came out with for support-wise in Cybernetic Horizon. And this makes, it pretty much negates any monster effect if you control a face-up Krawler. And it changes their effect to return 1 face-up monster your opponent controls. And then when all the Krawlers leave the field by your opponent's card effect, you get to summon 2 from the deck. And this changes their effect to bounce, so you get to add it back to your hand to reset it next turn. And you get 2 of any ones you want off of these. And then it's also a succession. You can banish this and target a Krawler and special it to a Link monster that you control. So pretty much you get to run like 6 Monster Reborns.
How many Monster Reborns did you resolve that tournament in one go? Wasn't it like 3?
Yeah, probably more, half to more than half.
Oh, that's so gross.
Their Link has a win condition if you control 6 Krawlers. You can just attack directly, kind of like Toons, and it's busted. 3 Pawns. This is the one where you get sets on your opponent's turn. And then if you have a Caller in grave, you can target 1 monster and reset it. So like if they don't get rid of whatever you used, say a Morphing Jar, because I decked somebody out with that too. I flipped it on their turn and then it didn't have anything to get rid of it. So on my turn, I shuffled a Krawler and reset it myself for the turn. and it's just too good.
So gross.
And then 2 Mirror Force, just
Yep.
nobody was expecting it.
Them floodgates, like I say, everybody, no one expects those. You always get hit by them.
You always do. And that's it for the main deck. 40 cards. We'll go to extra deck. My tokens.
Shia LaBeouf. Summon Shia LaBeouf in attack mode.
Always. For the extra deck, for the links, I ran 2 Krawlers, which he's the best one of them, I would say. He gains effects off of how many Krawlers you control face up on the field. Him including 1. So, and then all the links for Krawlers, if they leave the field by card effect, just like the regular main deck ones, they summon 2 from the grave. And also, if they leave the field by battle, they get a summon 2 from whatever you go into them with. You just get to bring back. So, like, say they bottomless it leaves the field still, so you get to summon the 2 that you just used to make it. So you pretty much just get to bait them out.
So dumb, these bugs, they don't die.
They multiply.
Call an exterminator.
And then, so if you have 2, so 1 including 1 other, all monsters on the field gain 300 attack and defense. If you have 4 or more, he acts like a Utopia of the lightning. Your opponents can't activate anything in any in the battle phase. And then 6+, you get to attack directly with all monsters.
So gross.
And then I ran 3 of the Simp. Whatever it points to gains 300 attack and defense. They cannot be destroyed by battle, and they can attack twice on monsters, whatever it points to. And then this one does the same thing, whatever it points to, can be destroyed by battle, gains 300 attack and defense, but whatever damage does go, gets doubled if
Oh,
you swing through something.
that's so gross.
And that's it for the Krawlers. There's not many of them. Other stuff that I ran a Mrs. Radiant if need be.
All Earth targets, so.
Yeah, and then they all gain 500, so your little beat sticks get a little bigger. I ran 1 Boral Guard, 1 Boral Load, and 1 Boral Sword.
Hell yeah, the triple package.
They're all situational for different things. Boral Sword was the MVP, but if I couldn't find my pawns, you can make Boral Guard and a quick effect to target one of your monsters and flip it face up defense. So you can, because you can't respond as effect activating, flip your stuff if you can't find a pawns.
So good.
And you guys know what these get. Too good.
Staples.
For synchros, because I run the glow bulb. Beast, obviously, because the earths, you gotta run it. And then I ran the Chambara.
Champion 5-drop.
OTKs. It came in clutch too. And then just the 1 Exceed. I ran the Phantom Knight guy. Just target, negate effects, and put it to 0 so you can swing through over problematic stuff if it can be targeted.
Thing is so good for sealing games.
And then for side deck, and 2 Veilers. Just to set off for the Ashes if I had more problem on the field.
Oh, ulti Veilers too. You gem.
Pretty. Gotta have them. If you can get a hold of them, just pick them up.
Staples.
2 Light Imprisoning Mirrors. I did run a lot of 2-ofs. It was really tight, so it's kind of hard to take stuff out when you put... Which this card negates all lights on field and grave. Well, it's continuous face up. And then we played 2 Shadow, which is the same thing but for darks. 2 D-Barrier, just because Invoked is running rampant kind of in my store.
That it is.
And Thunder Dragons come in Soul Fusion. This is going to be a very good card. So if you can pick up secrets now, pick them up because they might spike.
You are not wrong.
2 strikes. I'm going to go for first deck. So if I can go first in game 3, because I'll choose. Sometimes you lose game 2, sometimes you don't. It's a really snowball game. If you get 1 Krawler out, they all double if you can have it face up when it leaves the field by effect. So at least you just need at least 1, and then you can go off. 2 Royal Decree. A lot of people ask me why, but against the Altergeist match up, if you can shut down their whole deck compared to your 6 traps or 8 traps, it's a lot better.
Oh Lord, yeah.
It hurts them a lot more than it hurts you. 2 Massacre Strike for 2 Draco because nobody likes that deck.
People like it, they just hate going up against it.
Exactly. That's where I was going with it. And then 1 Cyclone.
And an ulti Cyclone. This man's just rolling.
The reason why I ran the Cyclone is because if your opponent's running like Imperial Orders or stuff like that, anti-spell fragrances, if this is in your hand, you can just chain it to them, activating it, and it's gone. And you just pay 1,000. Twin Twister is kind of good. MST is good too, but it hits more than MST. It's a little more effective on some targets than it is others.
Plus, it stops you from getting Wakened a Dragon.
It does.
A good side deck option.
But that's it.
Rock and roll. Well, thank you so much, guys, and we'll be getting you a musket deck profile sometime soon. But as always, thank you, JJ, for doing this. And as always, guys, like and subscribe. And thank you for joining us for another episode of Primeval Time. Thank you.